What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Roman, that's Austin, and we are here with some very exciting news. 5 years in the making, we have a first release trailer for what is now known as 007 First Light, the first James Bond game we've had in 13 years now since 007 Legends, which was not well received. But this is a very exciting entry into the franchise because it gives us a lot of firsts. And one of the first things it gives us is, for the first time, I think, ever, in movies, in books, in games, it looks like it's giving us a James Bond origin story. In the trailer, we hear exposition about his parents and their deaths, and something that happened in Poland, and it makes you think, what happened in Poland? Like, it's stuff we don't know. We get to see characters that look different than we've seen. Like, they don't look like the movie versions of the characters. This trailer looks very modern and cool. This is from IO Interactive, who are the studio behind the Hitman games. So a lot of people are pointing out its similarities between Uncharted and the Hitman games, which is good, because I saw a comment that said, hey, like, we need more games in this genre. But before I get too deep into my thoughts, Austin, you've seen this trailer as well. We both have. What are your thoughts on this First Light trailer that we got?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know about this game being made like you did. And when they had announced the Switch 2 and they did the directs for that, they had, kind of mentioned the 007 game coming out. And so to see this trailer really excites me, because back in the day, I played games like this all the time. I mean, obviously, everybody loves GoldenEye from N64. But one of the things that I mentioned to you, and it's kind of crazy that I even thought about this, but like, Quantum of Solace was one of those Bond movies that a lot of people didn't like, but I actually played the Quantum of Solace game on the 360, and the shooting and the gameplay, like, that stuff really hasn't changed over the years. Like, it's the same type of gameplay as I remember from Quantum of Solace. But I do love that it's very Uncharted-esque. I like that type of gameplay. I think that's the right type of gameplay for an adventure type game like Bond, and that excites me. And I think it looks really polished. It's nice to see something that's an original story versus connected to the movies, because sometimes that can kind of hold back games and stories. And so the fact that we're going to get a trilogy in this is pretty wild. And so I think that's why he's also a young Bond, right? Because we're probably going to get it over time, like him, progressing and that kind of thing, similar to like the Jedi Order games. One of the things that I do like, and I think is most exciting to me, is you mentioned the origin story. The only time we really ever get a hint of origin, at least from my knowledge, is in Skyfall. And in Skyfall, he goes to his old home at the end. They have the standoff and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of get hints of like his parents or maybe his father.
And I think you see a tombstone that says his father's name was Albert, and that was the only thing I think that we've ever gotten.
So that's all you get.
Bond's parents.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And so overall, I'm excited. This trailer is pretty quick, but I love the shots of it. Looks like we're going to be getting like some just like straight up like gunplay, but we're also going to get like parts where we can drive a car, maybe some other vehicles.
There's a scuba diving sequence.
Was like very Thunderball-esque. We're probably gonna get some like sleuth detective type stuff, because you could see
a lot of
in the trailer
hand combat as well.
You could see in the trailer where it was like he was going down a hallway and you saw this kind of like this like blip go through it, like it was like detecting things, kind of like Assassin's Creed a little bit. So it's like there's probably going to be some type of like functionality where you can kind of like sense other things. So honestly, probably not super innovative in terms of like something new that we haven't got before, but in terms of Bond and a new story, I'm really excited to see what we're going to get.
Right. This game looks like it's got a little bit of everything, like you mentioned. It's got car chases. It's got, I think my favorite part about this, and I think what a lot of people are noting, is that because this is a younger Bond and we get some more origin story, we're also, the main part of this game is earning your 007 status. Like, and you see it a little bit in the trailer. It shows like you going through like training exercises and different things. So this is going to be really different in that regard. The thing that struck me, and the thing that I think is sticking out to a lot of people, is James Bond's look in this. One, it's very sleek, it's very modern. We can see that from the surroundings. But also, I don't think once in this trailer do you see James Bond wearing his signature tuxedo. He's dressed in in street clothes for most of it, and
Yeah.
which is we really only saw from like Pierce Brosnan and Roger Moore in movies. So, and this Bond, as we mentioned, is an original Bond. It doesn't look like Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig like it has sometimes in the past. It looks like a new person. It looks most similar to Pierce Brosnan, but it's not trying to be. But I think the thing that got most people's attention is that this Bond has a 3-inch scar on his right cheek, which we've never seen in the movies. But to my knowledge, the original Bond from the novels, from Ian Fleming's novels, had this 3-inch scar.
Yeah.
So people noticed that in the trailer and really had a lot to say about it. They were really excited about it. The thing I noticed the most was that these characters are original versions. It's not Judi Dench as M or Ralph Fiennes, or it's not Ben Henshaw as Q. We get to see a lot of them. I did see a list. We saw an African-American man in M's office, and the only one we know for sure is M because he referred to her as mom, and it was a younger, I believe, an Indian woman.
Yeah.
A British Indian woman, and then she was talking to an African American man in her office. Some people believe that this is Moneypenny, but I don't believe it is. I believe it is this universe's version of the character that Judi Dench had around her a lot in the Daniel Craig movies, known as Tanner. I believe that could be it, maybe. Because I thought Moneypenny was the younger girl we saw escorting Bond.
That's what I thought too.
The office.
She looks very similar to the ones from Daniel Craig's movies too.
But the same list that I saw had her listed as Q. But we also saw an elderly gentleman that resembled both John Cleese and Desmond Llewellyn, who played Q in the past. So we really don't know a lot about some of these characters. Very excited to see this. But I think, as I said, I think the thing I'm most excited about is that we're getting a novel accurate James Bond.
Well, also what's crazy about the novel accuracy is that Ian Fleming wrote Bond pretty much as like him, like he's like Bond.
Right.
Yeah. And in Ministry of Ungenly Warfare, when we saw Ian Fleming's character like in that movie, like you got to see how he was that espionage spy and kind of suave dude. And so in this, like, if he looks like the book version of Bond, then like that's Ian Fleming in this game essentially. Like, so which is really cool.
And I got another tidbit for you, Austin, and for our viewers here. They have not released the voice list for this game, at least that I know of yet. And a lot of people think it's because they're holding back the name of the voice actor who plays James Bond, because some people believe that he might be the actual live action James Bond. Some people though believe it is a guy named Patrick Gibson, which looking at Patrick Gibson, he doesn't look like this version of the character. A lot of these characters are done with motion capture. They're meant to look like the people that voice them. Yeah. Patrick Gibson doesn't look a lot like this version of Bond, but I could definitely see him being James Bond. I think it would be a very interesting take on Bond, but some people believe it is because that they're holding the name back because he could potentially be the next live-action James Bond. Let us know in the comments what you think. Are you excited to play this game? What are your thoughts? Do you think there's merit to the Patrick Gibson voice rumors and him being the live-action James Bond? And also let us know in the comments what is your favorite James Bond game and what is your favorite James Bond movie? We love talking movies on this channel. That's why we have it. But until then, this is Fandom Fix. I'm Roman. That's Austin. And we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.